All right. Did you find out who that was calling you yesterday? It was not Gino, you told me.
No, unfortunately, it was just some spam or junk call. So no, but
Oh,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the phone has never ring. I mentioned that to you about a week ago that the phones never ring when we've went on the podcast. Neither one of our phones in our office. So yeah, I'm surprised that's never happened before. But yeah, it was just some junk call.
the last episode for a week, Ryan, before you take off to Florida. It's showing Ryan. Listen up, man. We received some good comments and maybe some not so good comments, but hey, we appreciate everybody's support still either way. They said that they enjoy listening. So with that said, we'll get to the comments in just a second. Ryan, today's a big day we've been waiting for. I think everybody's known what the number one moment was during the 21-22 season. Break it loose to him, partner.
Yeah, number one moment, going with the Elite Eight against NC State. Game of the year, in my opinion. I think it was the game of the year in all women's college basketball last year. But 91-87 win in double overtime. Paige Becker played amazing in that game. Only missed one shot in the second half, made all her free throws, came up clutch every single time for UConn in that game. But the specific play that I go with in this game was with about 10 seconds left on the inbound play. UConn was up to AZ Fudd gets it, passes it to Avina in the corner. And then Kristen Williams find herself wide open down low. And the good pass from Avina set Williams right up under the basket, sinks a layup, and puts UConn up by 4 to seal the win. But everybody was making their free throws in that game. And we talked about that through the tournament. You know, UConn needed to step it up. If that was one thing they had to improve on, it was their free throw shooting. So they stepped it up in that game. Paige was making so many clutch shots, showed off her leadership skills in that game, and just an incredible game all the way around.
And it was overtime. 91-87. Was it a double overtime? I forgot how it went down.
Double overtime, yeah.
So it was double overtime, 91-87. Was that the final that you have?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I called you that night. We was actually on the FaceTime, I think, together. And just when you thought that the Wolf Pack would pull it out, then you thought the Huskies would pull it out. And it just went back and forth. And that's what you like. Now maybe if you're not a UConn fan, but it was too close for comfort. Way too close. But yeah, I mean, for a person that was likes to be treated to close ball games, man, that was the night, man. I tell you that we received a lot of comments saying that hey, this will go down as most likely one of the best games ever in league history, no doubt. But I think that if you look into it, the bigger picture, the overall picture, as far as a UConn fan and breaking down what Maria went over when she came on, definitely the way Paige Beckers put the team on her back and was able to come through clutch in that ball game. I think it was one of our subscribers. They wrote back to us and said how Paige Beckers is not a list. She definitely took over that game. So she was a leader in that game. I think overall, I would have to disagree too. We'll get into that in the comment section. They was talking about how Paige Beckers is not a leader. It I'm not too sure. Just because I don't know where they're coming up with that, but you're not gonna take over in every ball game.
No.
But I mean, there's other ways to be a leader other than
Right.
you and I may not even see it. She may wake up in the morning and be a leader, So you got to remember we're specifically a sports podcast, but there's other ways in life and in sports to be a leader, not just from what we see as our point of view.
Yeah, well, how about even when she was injured in the games I was watching, she was there on the bench supporting her teammates, keeping the energy level up, keeping the vibes good on the bench, supporting her teammates, jumping up and down, clapping them on. So, yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of different ways she showed off her leadership skills. And just her being there on the bench supporting her teammates was huge for them and giving them a huge confidence boost.
Moving on to the comments from the number two best moment of the year, Ryan, where we will start out with Jason D'Amico. Another great show, fellas. I got to say, I respectfully don't agree with Iva about Paige's leadership skills. We'll go and get into this now, Ryan, while we're talking about it. When that young woman is on the floor, she not only elevates her own teammates, but the opposition as well. Just go back to the North Carolina State game. Number one moment of the year, when Paige came back in after she banged up her knee. North Carolina State started playing like wild animals. They completely changed their defensive set. I think they fouled Page like 3 times in 30 seconds. Every opponent of UConn refuses to lose to Page. Anyone else on UConn can beat them, and that would be okay, but not Page. That in of it, that in of itself is leadership. In case y'all haven't noticed, this is my new favorite channel to watch and post. Peace.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, Paige had 27 points in that game. And Dorka, that was the same game Dorka got injured as well. I believe she only played 3 minutes. So if I remember correctly, that's the same game where she got injured. So just the whole team recovering from that in itself is difficult because that scene was very, very hard to watch that night. But yeah, Paige coming up so clutch in that game, the whole entire game, especially in the fourth quarter when it got late, and in both of those overtimes, just really showed off her leadership skills. But like I just mentioned, she did it during the whole entire season after she was injured, coming off the bench, supporting her teammates all the way through until she got back on the court and was healthy again.
Rachel Fight goes. Dawn Staley said that. Dawn Staley has said that Paige is a generational player. Dawn to me doesn't just say things like that unless she means it. Paige is a standout in many ways. She has leadership ability, won the court, but more importantly, off the court, she is classy and she cares about the community around her. She has 1 million Instagram followers and people flock to her wherever she goes. You can tell she is a great human. She's humble and willing to work on things. People are clearly inspired by her. I would think for Gino, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, she's an icon. She's arguably the face of women's basketball right now, especially in at the college level. So, and I know we were talking about it a little bit there during the March Madness run. It was brought up how Gino compared her to Diana Taurasi in terms of on the court, and her leadership skills and just her basketball mindset, IQ, skill level. So it's all there, but it's definitely important that off the court, she's in the community, doing all sorts of things in the UConn community. So it's always important to have your basketball skills on the court and being a good player, but off the court too, you need to have leadership skills and be involved in the community. That's definitely a huge part of any sport.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember, like, we love her. That's one of the reasons why this podcast has started. But you have to remember, Ryan, especially in sports, there are people out there that are not going to like you no matter how good you are. So, and UConn fans, I'm sure they already know that, but they have to realize, you and I love her, but you have to be ready for the people that, and again, I say it especially in sports. And again, there's probably a lot of people I would guess out there that just did not like Becker's choice of school, so you gotta be ready for things like that.
Yeah, there's always going to be haters, especially when you play for UConn because they're always the team to beat. So,
Next one, moving on to Iva again. Guys, I read you like a book. I already predicted number one, and I did mention AZ's Tennessee game. Caroline was a nice surprise last season after her recovery with all her skills. She would be explosive. DeBerry is another big that can shoot 3 points. UConn with DeBerry and Dorka will get a lot because they can stretch the floor with an Aubrey. With her defensive energy, her and Nika, wow, that would be insane. Also, Aubrey can give you double-digit scoring games. Somebody needs to say it. Why not? It's time for another undefeated season.
that would be awesome. It's been a while. It's been a while since there an undefeated season for UConn. But I'm interested to see I was thinking about this the other day, the possibility of Gino putting three forwards or bigs in the starting lineup at some point, putting DeBerry, Dorka, and Aaliyah Edwards out there. Not sure if he'll do it or not. I know he likes going with three guards most of the time, but with as much depth as UConn has in terms of bigs this season, that I think there's a possibility that he could have two or three bigs out on the floor, especially with DeBerry and Dorca's 3-point shooting ability.
John came through again. We appreciate him. Thanks for taking my question yesterday in regards to Caroline Ducharme. She's a super talent and the key to another national championship trip and hopefully a victory this year. I believe Caroline Ducharme will win the AP Player of the Year. She has what not many athletes have, a relentless ability to change a game by scoring and continuing to look for her shots. That's what a great player does. They score and continue to score. Nobody on this team has that. You will see that this season when she drops 40-point plus games. That's a big prediction for college level, Ryan. I'm not saying she can't do it, but hey, let's not forget about defense, Ryan.
Yeah, I know a lot of UConn fans are very, very high on her. We've learned that throughout this podcast, but
Yeah.
I am too. I love Caroline. She's a very good player. And it might have been because of that hip injury that no one knew about last season. That was probably the reason why Gino wasn't giving her maybe as many minutes as AZ Fudd or Nika Mule at some times in the season because of that hip injury. So hopefully this season, when she gets all healed up, she'll be able to get more minutes along with AZ Fudd. And I just can't wait to watch Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, Caroline Ducharme just working together on the court. It should be so fun to watch this season.
This one's interesting. We'll see what Ryan says about this. And David Serrano, thanks for coming through, man. Hey, guys, your last vlog was probably the only one I watched end to end. Why? Because Maria was there. Something interesting and not like a radio show as you guys normally are. Don't get me wrong. I like your commentaries and willingness to talk through the comments and sometimes agree to them. Can I give you a suggestion? Why not put in stills or short clips of players and plays you discuss about in your vlogs? Editing nightmare, but it would make for a visually better experience for us. Also, do invite one of the Uconn players. Nika would make a great player to interview. She's a team energizer bunny. She's got the most funny and cool facial expressions, and I hear that she is quite accommodating. Remember how she bullied Paige into making that proposal video for a high school kid in PA. Well, there you go. Lastly, keep those vlogs coming. I quite enjoy them.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think I do remember seeing something on that video. I think I saw an article about it. I think I remember watching that now that you mention it. But yeah, I mean, we should try to reach out to some UConn players and try to get them on the podcast. You never know. But yeah, about the editing as well. We'll try to do that. It would be an editing nightmare, but hopefully, hopefully,
Ryan knows about that.
yeah, I know all about that for sure. So
Uh,
hopefully at some point, maybe we'll be able to do that.
it's only going to get better. And I feel like this team is only going to get better. Ryan, enjoy your time in Florida. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up.